Hi everyone, welcome back to Santai Talk. This is the second episode. So, on the first episode, we talked about what is the purpose in life and what is purpose in itself. Okay, so
Hmm.
today we're going to talk about startup, like as in
Startups.
becoming, yeah, as in like becoming entrepreneur, and we're just going to dip our fingers in, what is it like to start a startup?
Hmm.
Have you ever thought about starting a business of your own? And because our good friend Kenneth here, he has dabbled in a few industries before.
Yep.
He has started a few micro businesses. So,
Hmm.
and from there, he has gained a lot of experience. And I can say this in confidence that perhaps among all my friends, he gives me the best advice, in terms of the business direction, and other things related to, perhaps businesses and entrepreneurship.
I'm sure
So
you're saying those
today,
things just to make me happy.
well, I've known you for almost 20 years, I guess, but
Yeah.
I'm not saying it because I want to make you happy, just saying, really what I think, lah.
Mm.
Yeah. So tonight, maybe perhaps we can start off the topic. Maybe we can have Kenneth say a little about what is entrepreneurship to him, and how has this sort of changed his perception towards the 9 to 5, in contrast to working daily at 9 to 5
Hmm.
and entrepreneurship. Yeah. So take it away.
Um. Well, wow, this is a
Wow,
huge
wow,
topic. Um.
that's great.
Okay, so for me, entrepreneurship used to be something that sounds very glorious. Like, it's something that would change your life, and when you do it and you become successful, you would become like that. You know how movie portrays it? You'll be like that rock star among all your friends. Like, everyone's gonna look up
Yeah.
to you, and then you have a successful business. You're gonna be rich. You can enjoy the luxuries in life. But
Yeah.
after going into entrepreneurship, it is exact opposite of what you would expect. It's not like how is it in the movies, all the glamour, fame, and luxuries you can afford. Hell no.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, in reality, 99% of all startup fails. Means
Mm,
every 100 people who goes into entrepreneurship, 99 of them will fail. So, yeah,
mm.
entrepreneurship is not flashy, it's not glamorous. It is
In
tough
fact,
work.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so
the entire different. It's like how even in well, because when you mentioned that how it's portrayed, it's glorious. There's a lot of money involved. You can be a rock star, but
mhm.
people don't really see what's the work put behind it. And it's not
Yeah.
just about clocking in the hours. I think it's really something to do with your mental health as well. Wouldn't you say
Yeah.
so?
Yeah, like when I first got into entrepreneurship, I received no support whatsoever. Not even from my
Mm.
closest friends, not even from my family. They were against it. Like everybody just wanted me to go get a 9 to 5 job like any other
Mm.
people would. Here's the thing about
Yeah.
Asian cultures. Asian culture, they like you to be in the crowd. They like you to
Stable.
yeah, they like you to blend in, right? They don't want you
Yeah.
to stick out. When you stick out from the
Mm.
crowd and you look weird, everyone's gonna look at you weird and they're like, why are you doing things that's not normal? You know? People would give you that
Right.
kind of look and they will
Mm-hmm.
ask you that kind of questions. It makes you feel like,
Mm.
am I the one that's weird? You know? So that's Asian
Mm-hmm.
culture, right? So when you want to do something that is out of the ordinary, like entrepreneurship, many people is gonna be like, "Why are you doing this, man? Like, you could have just go get a job, earn a salary, and be done with it." You know. So,
Yeah. Save the money, you know,
mm,
and have a stable life, nothing too crazy, nothing too progressive, as long as you get to, live day by day, month to month, year to year, staying
yeah,
stable. And that's
and
it,
climb the
that's
corporate
life.
ladder. Yeah.
They climb the corporate ladder, Yeah, I agree with you on I like how you mentioned Asian stereotypes because
Mm-hmm.
I believe that the Asian stereotype, one of it is definitely, you know, of course, to be successful.
Yep.
It usually the picture that the community paints of Asian expectation is that parents have a very high expectation. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, when you watch movies, Asian movies, they always talk about you have to be either a doctor, lawyer, or what, or an
Or an
engineer or something
engineer.
like that.
Yeah, exactly. A
Yeah. So
professional.
anything out of the norm, right? It's seen as blasphemy, as a sin. So
Yep.
but I guess why stereotypes exist is because, of course, it's real, lah. You know, there's a
Yeah.
reason why people make fun of it
Hmm.
or make it so real, that because it is real. So yeah.
Yeah. So basically, when I first started, I received no support from my family. I received no support from my friends. And you'd be surprised, the only people who will support you and buy your products are strangers. The
Mm,
strangers in your life are the biggest supporters in your startup. And I would say
mm,
that because when I started
mm,
out with nothing. I started out with just a few $1,000. That's it,
yeah,
and there was nothing. I needed to find someone to help me develop the website, and here
yeah,
we come to the second part of the topic of entrepreneurship.
yeah,
There, I mean, eventually you will get into the point whereby you want to find someone to be your partner, or someone wants to be your partner,
hmm,
and first you don't get the emotional support. Second is you get people who pretend to be interested in what you do, and
right,
yeah, and they forward their own agenda in your entrepreneur. So first they'll do is they'll ask you to be a partner. I mean, or they'll ask if they could be a partner, and you feel like, hey, I need all the help I can get. So you'd be like,
yeah,
why not, right? But once he's your partner, um, legal or not, he will start to advance his own agenda. He have his own goals to achieve, and he will use your resource to achieve those goals. And
wow,
more often than not, your goals are not aligned with his, and when you start to see things don't work out, it will be a messy divorce. And when it comes to finances, like if he's a partner of a company or a partnership, it's even more messier, because how are you going to
man,
divide the assets now? How are you going to divide the trademark or whatever? So when it comes to partners, I have a very terrible experience. Like, I've tried many,
mm,
many partners, and all of them gave me also like terrible experiences. Like, I'm not sure if you know, Kelvin, but I have actually been through 7 different partners throughout my entrepreneur
wow,
life. Yeah, 7 different partners. So, my journey begins when I thought, hey, I wanted to find someone that is like-minded like me, that is as young as me, and they are driven. So I found a few partners, maybe if some friends that graduated from college with me. I'm like, hey, since you're in coding, let's build a website together. Like, you build a website, and I'll go handle the marketing and sales. So
mm-hmm,
it's easier said than done, because
of course,
you
mm,
you sell him the vision, you sell him the dream, he's on board, and he's coding the website. The next thing you know, he's coding the website. But after 3 months in, he'll be like, Kenneth, I feel that I'm doing all the work, but you're not doing anything. But the problem is that I can't do anything without the website being developed, right?
mm,
So I need a website, and when the website is done, then that's when it's my turn to, to actually do something about it. But people will be like, nah, man, I feel that you're not doing anything and I'm doing all the work, so I'm out. And when people say they are out on the spot. So they don't give you any notice, they don't give you any time for you to find a replacement. They just say, okay, I quit. I'm not going to do it anymore. You're lucky if your partner tells you he quits. You're if you're not lucky, your partner will just disappear. Suddenly he's uncontactable. You can't contact him anymore. Your project is left hanging in the air. Like you'll be like, what's going on? You
Yeah,
won't know what's going on until it's too late. Like your partner is already long gone, and probably he
that
would have already taken whatever he had developed with him. So you're back to zero again. Yeah. The
geez,
the
that sounds
worst
terrible.
yeah, the worst partner is that you go into partnership with him and he asks you to put in some money into the business and he takes all the money and spend it all on himself. Those are the worst
Which is
partners.
exactly which is exactly what happened in your scenario, right?
Um, in one of the latest case that I have experienced, I think it was a couple of years back.
Mm,
It happened exactly like that. Like each of us have to put in 6,000 ringgit, well, of our own money, and
yeah,
yeah, he just took off with our money. He spent it all, and nothing was
uh,
developed. That was the worst kind of partners, and you have no idea what's going on. So, um, for people who want to start a business with a partner, I would the only advice I would give them is that unless you really, really knew the person, like he really studied with you, you knew him for like at least 5, 6, 7 years, even then you have to really know whether if he can handle money or not. Because when it comes to money, it's very sensitive. Even 10 years worth of relationship will be tested. So you gotta be
that is that
yeah,
is true.
you gotta be prepared
Yeah.
for that. So never enter
Wow.
into a partnership with anyone that you just met. Like
That's like
when I
that's
mean
almost
yeah, when I mean by
yeah.
just met, I mean 2 years. Like you knew him less than 2 years. Never go into a partnership that for with someone that you have just met for 2 years or below.
Okay.
Yeah, so don't do that. Yeah, so
Okay. Okay.
so
Hmm.
getting into the wrong partnership really delays your plans. Like here you are, you wanted to achieve certain goals by this time of your life, but getting into the wrong partnership delays that by a lot because you have to go and recuperate all the lost resource that you have put into this bad partnership. You have to
Mhm.
start from zero again. You have to have that same amount of readiness uh, in terms of money. Yeah, so you gotta have all these
I
things.
mean, it's very draining,
Hmm.
like all these is energy, time, and effort,
Yeah.
and to face that kind of a partner really is, of course, it's very unfortunate. But back to your point where I feel it's interesting is that when you say your partner, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he came on saying they say, oh, they don't want to do the work because they feel like I'm doing all the work and you're doing nothing. And
Mm.
also the fact that you said um, because there is no product, I couldn't market it and I couldn't sell it, right?
Yeah.
So in that sense, in that scenario, I would like to know, is the partner being reimbursed in any way? Like, is there a salary or no? Because this is a partner basis.
Yeah. So when it comes to a partnership, generally you don't ask for a salary because if you ask for a
Mhm.
salary, you don't like if you get into a partnership and ask for a salary, it's not a partnership.
It's more like an employee boss relationship.
Yeah, like if you go into a partnership should bear the risk equally. You know, whether
Right. Hmm.
he puts in the same amount of time and effort, or he puts in the same amount of money, it has to be equal. Otherwise, it won't be a partnership because there's no such thing as a risk-free business. So when you go
Mm.
into a business
Yeah,
with
I agree.
somebody and someone asks you to pay him salary and become a partner of your company, just immediately say no. He's not the one for you because a partner have to have that gut to take the same amount of risk you're taking. It's not partnership when you
Right.
take all the risk and the other guy just gets paid every month. There must be some risk involved.
Yeah,
Entrepreneurship have to be. I mean, it has to take some risk, right? Otherwise, why don't you
mm,
just go start a 9 to 5 job? You know?
that is true. Yeah,
Yeah. So
I agree. Yeah.
um. So yeah. Partnerships. I can go on and on about it, but
Mm.
generally, Don't
Yeah.
if you can build the business on your own, just build it on your own. Don't get a partner. Never get a partner. It complicates things up 900%. So
Oh, wow.
yeah. So having another person in the business, he have his own goals, he have his own agenda. It kind of it will complicate things between you and him. So if you want things to
Mm,
be done your way and you want your business to be successful, you have to rely on your own two hands. And
right.
it comes to here's my third part of the startup. So how do you
Sure.
start a startup, right?
Mm-hmm.
On your own, and nowadays people describe startup as a tech company, but
Yeah.
to me startup can be anything actually, as long as
No.
you can build a product. So the most
Mm,
common way of the definition of startup is a tech company. Like people build a website and then they market a website and people sign on to the website to use it. So that's the most common definition of a startup. So I'll just use that. So how do you build the most common definition of a startup, which is a website? How do you build a website? So here I am, an entrepreneur, a founder with no technical skills. I only know how to do sales and marketing. So what do I do? So here is the first step of starting your own business, entrepreneurship. You need to get money. You need to have money to fund the startup, right?
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
forget about partners. No one's gonna build that website that you dreamed of, that idea that you dreamed of for you for free. No one's gonna do that. You gotta pay them one way or another. So one way you need to get some money for yourself. So how do you get the money? The most easier way is to work. So yeah, like forget about those startup dreams that you quit your job, you quit your college or whatever to build this business. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are just media.
That's, yeah.
Yeah, it's bullshit. So the first thing you need to do is go work, get some money. If you have no
Yeah.
money, you
Get
can't do
some
anything.
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
And
need to
on
go
top of
money.
that,
Hmm.
you need to earn money and also get real world experience as well.
Yeah.
It's like you're stepping into a game and you don't even know how to play the game. So it's
Mm.
like you want to create a game, but you don't even know how to play the game. So how does that work? So completely agree with you. I mean, everyone has to have start in their life, and it's not shameful. I mean, everyone has their own
Mm.
journey and their own steps to go through, right? And getting a job is definitely the first step before you even dream of want to start your own startup or whatever,
Yep.
correct?
Yeah,
Mm,
like you brought up a very interesting point because a lot of people they can't wait to start a startup. They have not worked
mm,
a single day in their life and they say
yeah,
I want to be a founder of a company. Like
yeah.
you don't
Your own
even know
freelance,
how is it like to feel. I mean, you don't even know how is it like to work for somebody and now you want to be the
yeah.
boss, right? It's like you're not
Yeah.
even level 1 but you want to be level 99.
You want to
So
be the final boss.
exactly. It's like it doesn't work that way. You need to know how things are run on the lowest level to be the best
Yeah.
boss. Otherwise, you just end up being one of those asshole boss that doesn't know what they're doing. So,
Which reminds me of that boss in Horrible Bosses, that movie. That his boss
uh huh,
is his dad, right? His dad
yeah,
owns the business.
uh
Apple funded took it over,
huh,
and he fucked the entire company. It's hilarious.
yeah,
Anyways, you guys should check out Horrible Bosses because it's really, really funny.
yeah. So I've seen quite a few of my friends being like
Yeah.
that. They have never worked a single day in their life because their families is rich, is loaded. The family
Right.
will just say, "Hey, you know what? Why don't you start your own thing and I'll give you some money." That is the
Right.
best, the most blessed
Scenario.
gift a parents could ever give
Yeah.
their child. Give them some money to
Yeah.
start their own business. But
Hmm.
more often than not, those kids will not know how to appreciate those gifts and they'll end up throwing them away. What I mean by
Mm.
throwing them away, they will say, "Okay, I'll take up the money, and then I'll just go spend the money on things that I think I need to spend on for the business." So they'll spend on things like a new office. They'll spend the things on making marketing materials. They'll spend their things on
Yeah.
talking their talking to their friends about it. All the things that does not matter. He will spend all the money on the things that does not matter. But
Yeah.
the things
The
that
business.
actually built but yeah, they will not spend the money on actually building the product. They'll spend on all the things that does not matter, the office, the marketing materials, renovation and whatever, but the product, they won't spend on the product. And when the product
The
comes out
core
shit,
product, right?
yeah, you have a fancy office but your product is shit, And
Mm-hmm.
every time I see this happens, within a few months the company goes bust. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, surely you have seen many of these cases before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, even from my point of view, is that I guess because the key word here is safety net. You know,
Yeah.
safety net. What does that mean? It means you always have something to fall back on,
Mm-hmm.
which means there is always little to no risk to you involved, which ultimately means that you learn nothing because when you always have a safety net in your mind, right,
Yep.
you are very comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You will not be innovative and you will not be creative. The mindset of an entrepreneur, with the safety net will always ultimately come down to, oh, if it fails, I will just move on to another thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you agree with that,
Yeah.
right? So
The safety net basically guarantees your startups to fail. Because
yeah,
for a startup to be successful, you need to be so driven for it to be successful that you have no other choice but to be successful. Because if you have a safety net,
yeah.
you won't be
Hmm.
driven hard enough to make it a success.
Yeah.
Because for those people
You
who
will feel like, hmm,
because for
yeah,
those people who had built a successful company, they have no other
yeah.
choice but to make it a successful company. It's either that or they
Yeah,
go
nothing to
bankrupt.
do.
Yeah, it's either that
Yeah.
or nothing. So they have no other choice. So that's why you don't see a lot of rich kids building successful companies. It's because they always feel that I can just do this, and if it doesn't work out, I can move on to the next thing. That's the attitude, and that
Yeah.
attitude guarantees everything that they do fails. So
I see. Yeah.
yeah, like what these rich kids could have done is that, thanks mom and dad, I appreciate the $1 million loan, the small $1 million loan that you're giving me. um, but I would prefer to work and get some experience first. That is what they
Yeah.
should do. They should go join a company that what I mean that's in the industry that they are interested in. Like if
Mm-hmm.
they're interested in gaming development, which a lot of kids are saying that they are interested in, they should go
Mm-hmm.
join a gaming company or a production company. Like
Yeah.
how they should understand the process of how games are being developed. How
Mm-hmm.
how is it from concept to actual animation to actual world building to storyboarding. There's so many things that gets
Yeah.
involved into game development. So
Yeah.
yeah, they should join a game development company and see how it is like to develop a game. If they
That's right. And
yeah.
they have the real world experiences that they
Mm.
should look out for. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if you
Mm-hmm.
say you say you like sports, you want to do sports for a living, then go join a company that's in sports, like a football club
Mm-hmm.
or a company that manages tournaments. Like
Yeah.
go join those companies and see how is it like to be in that industry. And when you have enough experience, and when I say enough experience, it's 5 years or 5 to 7 years worth of experience, and that's just
Mm-hmm.
minimal amateurish experience. When you work in an industry for 5 to 7 years, you can't still call yourself a master yet. Although yes, you feel like you know a lot, but those compared to those people who are in that industry for 20 years, 30 years, you're nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of course. I mean, those are veterans.
yeah. So
Especially in today's industry where everything is so fast
mhm,
and everything is so disruptive.
yeah.
Yeah, it's getting to be a very tough market.
So yeah, when you work in that industry for about 5 to 6 to 7 years, you can call yourself someone experienced, but you are not as experienced as you could be, right? So,
Right.
but I would say when you are about 5 to 6 to 7 years, you are somewhat ready to build your own company, because by that time you would already know what does the industry needs and what the
Hmm.
industry lacks of and what are the opportunities for you to go in. So
What's the
then,
gap?
yeah, what's the gap? Then you
Hmm.
can go to your mom and dad and say, "Mom, I would like that $1 million loan now to build my own company." Yeah, and work on that, solving that issue that you just discovered. So
Yeah,
that should be the way.
yeah, but more often than not, that doesn't happen, lah, you know.
Yeah,
And
because hmm?
I would think that Kenneth, right? When you said by then, let's say 7, 8 years, right?
Mm-hmm,
Then they go to the mom and dad and say, "Okay, I'm ready for that million."
mm-hmm,
I don't think I don't think that would happen either, because as the individual, as a sample that we just mentioned,
yep,
perhaps when he's in the industry for 7, 8 years, he's more geared up, he's more ready to start a business.
mm,
Perhaps he'll find his own way to find that million, don't you think? Maybe he'll find investors and all.
mm.
I don't think, I'm not sure. That's just my own thinking. I would think that he will not be relying on their parents
Okay,
anymore. But
so
of course,
mm.
good for him, like, he still got that million.
Yeah, so here you brought up a very interesting point also. Like when your parents are rich, your parents offer you money to start your own business. And
Mhm.
then some people ask me, I remember there were a few people who asked me this question before. It's like, Kenneth, should
Yeah,
I uh, take up my family's business or should I just go do my own thing? I don't want to take up my family business because I don't
right.
want people to say that, oh, you're relying on family, you're not independent, and you're doing things. I mean, you're like leeching, you're not going out and finding your own money, things like that. A lot of rich kids have these worries in their mind, and I'll say, how
Oh,
fucking naive are you to think like that? You know, you know why I say
okay.
that's super naive, because fuck
Yeah,
whatever people think about you.
yeah.
Yeah, like fuck them. What are they? Are they? Do they have any influence in part of your life?
Anything
Are
you
you
tell it.
living their life? Yeah, like why does their opinion matters to you? Let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
Out there in the real world, it's cruel as fuck. If you don't make it, you get eaten by the dogs. There's no such thing
Yeah.
as pity. There's no such thing as mercy. It's a dog eat dog world out there. And people do nasty things to get ahead, right? So,
Sounds tough. Mm-hmm.
yeah. And you would need all the advantage
I
that you
mean,
can get to survive in that cruel world out there. You cannot afford to be
yeah.
weak. So if you have your family to support you, you have a great
So,
start. Take the
yeah,
damn opportunity. Don't say that, Kenneth, I don't want
yeah.
people to say this about me, and I'm just gonna go find my own money. That is the worst idea that I have ever thought of. Like, I have just a few friends say that, um, okay, I have
Yeah.
this friend whose family is in the contracting, mechanical and electrical contracting business for property developers. So basically, they run
Yeah.
wirings project, electrical projects, and infrastructure projects for major developments. And the company rakes in millions
Mm-hmm.
every quarter, because of how large the
Right.
projects are. So, but they don't want to be in their family's business. They say they want to go find their own money. They say they want to go do their own thing. They don't want to rely on family. I'm like, that's so stupid, because you have a huge opportunity, a huge platform that was already built for you by somebody. It's not your own effort. You didn't deserve it. You didn't ask for it. I mean, how do I put it? It's not meant for you, but it's there anyway for you right now for you to use. Take advantage of the damn thing,
Mm-hmm.
because many people would kill to be in your position to choose whether they would use that
Right.
platform or not. Yeah, use that platform, be the boss, be work your way up to that your own family's business, and then when you have the money, then only go start your own business. Start your own thing. Money is everything
Mm.
out there. I mean, a lot of people would disagree with me, but yeah, money is everything actually. because those people who tells me, oh, money is not everything, money is not the way of life or something like that. I'm like, yeah, you haven't worked a day in your life. You're still being supported by
Yeah,
your mom and dad. That's most probably why you would
and
say something like that.
money isn't everything, but a lot of things involve money.
Yeah,
That's the reality.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what
So
they say?
yeah.
Money won't make you happy, but I would rather cry
Mhm.
in a Lamborghini than cry in a Proton Saga. You get what I mean?
Yeah. I've
So
heard of that one. So yeah,
yeah.
I mean, but interesting point you brought up.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's an irony to this situation because
Mm,
you see, when you say that they have a platform ready, right? That means that it's ready for you. You take it up. You
mm,
learn the ropes of the business,
yep.
rake in millions every quarter.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess you can't really tell or advise them to really take it up because perhaps in that stage of their life they were too young to know what is important or to know uh, how much of an advantage that they have until they
Mm,
lose it.
yeah.
So the irony of thing is that you're right about people would kill to be in that position. That's because they are super aware of their disadvantages.
Mm,
Whereas the friend that you mentioned almost do not really have to work because rich ma, correct?
yep.
So why would I want to take up a business? I'm comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
I have the advantages with me. So that means that I can start my own thing because I already have money. So it's a
Yeah.
very chicken and egg situation, you
So
know?
so
Mm.
here is one thing. I mean, it comes to another point, which is parenting.
Yeah.
So I think
Okay.
these
Interesting. Mm.
parents, they could have taught their kid about money from a very young age, because money is a very, to some people, it's a very sacred thing. And people are like that. When you're born with it, you're surrounded by it, you would think that it's normal. It's normal to have so much money. It's normal to afford all these luxuries. And they'll feel
Mhm.
like, uh well, I feel like money is not everything. Well, that's because they're rich, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So but for those people who are born in poor families, who have nothing, who is always living from paycheck to paycheck, always thinking about their
Yeah.
next meal. That God damn it, to put them in your position to be rich, to be able
Yeah.
to choose, that's their
It
dream,
would
you
go
know?
for
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess it all comes to the upbringing of the kid. Whether if the parents are teaching them about money at a very young age, that money is not an easy thing to
Mhm.
get. They always have to
Yeah.
remind their kid that money is scarce out
You have to
there.
work.
Yeah, you have to work hard for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess that's parenting. Um, so yeah, I think we're getting to a bit too far. Let's go back to the point. So my point is,
Yeah.
get all the money you
Me
can.
too.
Yeah, get all the money you
Yeah.
can. If you want to start a business, you need all the money
Mm.
you have to build it.
Yeah.
And when you have enough money, hire a contractor, hire a software developer, a professional software development company to build your system.
Yeah.
So, because there's no other more reliable way for you to do it. Forget about partners. If you have a friend that you've known for years, and then you guys say, hey, you know what, let's build this. Good for you. You have just struck the lottery, because there's 1,001 other entrepreneur out there who have this wonderful
Mm.
idea, but they have no money and no talent to build it. And they
Right.
would die to have someone who is willing to say, I'll build it with for you, and I will be your partner for no money, you know? So it's like I can only offer. The thing is that no people will accept the offer if you just tell them, build this for me, I'll offer you equity percentage of the company. You say that,
Yep.
immediately the software developer will be like, nope, fuck you. I'm not gonna work for this for nothing. Either you pay me money or fuck off, you know? So
Yep.
no one's gonna take up the offer. If you have a friend who's willing to do that for you, you have just struck the lottery. So
Wow, that's a very interesting perspective. Yes, I've never heard about this before because
yeah.
I've never started up anything before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I must say that the closest I've been to entrepreneurship is my photography projects.
Mm.
So I have been taking photos ever since I was maybe about 15 years old
Mm-hmm.
or 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And it started out as a hobby,
Yep.
but over the years, I do have friends asking me, "Hey, do you want to help me take some product photos?
Mm.
Are you interested in taking event photos, or are you interested to do conceptual photos?"
Mm.
So on and off in the last 5 years, I do take up many jobs,
Yep.
and I've done my part lah to earn my own money as a
Mm-hmm.
side income.
Mm-hmm.
And I must say that it's actually very liberating because
Mm.
you you get to control the scenario.
Yep.
You get to ask price. You
Mm-hmm.
get to negotiate. Basically, your own boss, right?
Yep.
But I realize the challenge of this is that I am entirely liable
Mm-hmm.
for the outcome that is to come.
Yeah,
You know,
that's correct.
the end product. In my case, which is the photos.
Mm.
If the photos are shit, are you gonna tell the client that, oh, I'm not feeling so inspired that day, that's why I couldn't take a nice photo? You can't
Yep.
say that.
Yeah, you
You,
can't say that.
because client, yeah, because client pays you exactly what they want.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm.
they pay you because they believe in your work, they've seen your portfolio, and
That's
they
right.
have certain expectations that you have to meet. You know, so on and off, I have meet good clients and
Mm.
meh clients. You know, some clients were
Mm.
very good. They love my work, and I'm very thankful about that.
Mm-hmm.
Some were just, oh, could you amend this? Could you amend that? Oh, I don't think this is very creative. They become the art director.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
um.
So it's like paying me
Mm.
to listen to them. Yeah.
So
It's just one of my experiences.
okay, so I mean, you brought up a very interesting point that um having your own side hustle, like
Mm,
photography or selling T-shirts online, selling food online, it's great and all, and you're completely right. The quality of the product is entirely your doing. When you have
yeah.
a company of your own, you are still beholden to somebody. You are not, I mean, fuck those people who says that if you are your own boss, you control your own destiny, no one tells you what to do. Fuck that. The When you start your own business, the people who tells you what to do are your customers.
Yeah.
Your customers are
Exactly.
your boss. They're the one who pays
Yep.
you. So
Hmm.
you better make them happy or else they will stop giving business to you.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah.
your customers are the lifeline of your business. You
Exactly.
know,
So those
especially if you
people
have to do
mm,
everything by your own. Mm.
so those people who
Yeah.
say that um those people who say that you're your own boss, nobody tells you what to do, they are talking out of their ass. Yeah, you'll be answering to more people than you would. When you're working for somebody, you're only answerable to one guy. If
Yeah.
you work for your own business, you're answerable to all your clients, which is, I don't know, if you're having a great business, you probably are answering to 100 different person. So think
Yeah.
about the math, right? It sucks to be in a startup because you have 100 bosses now instead of one.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there is a glorification right there. Like, oh, be your own boss kind of thing. But of course, you know, things are not as they seem.
Mm,
However, we must also consider the factor that, of course, if you have a startup and it's successful,
mm.
of course, the rewards are double, triple, quadruple fold, of
Hmm.
your non-startup,
Okay, now that you mentioned about scale, right? Like double,
Yeah.
triple, quadruple, it's scale, right? So
Mhm.
how do you know whether if you have a hobby or an actual legitimate business? The
Yeah.
difference between a hobby and an actual legitimate business is scale. How do you
All
do
right.
it? Yeah, how do you do it for one person and how do you do it for 100 person? So if you do something like, let's say for your photography business, sometimes you only take up one client, sometimes you only take up two clients, and then you work on these two clients for a month, and then you get paid like 1,000, 2,000 bucks. I would say that's a hobby because you're only working for
Mm-hmm.
1 or 2 person at a time. An actual
Yeah.
business would be doing photography jobs for 100 different companies. And
Yeah.
yeah, like you have a team of people who will manage these customers for you. And and you're like growing your customer base every single quarter, maybe every 3 months. Like
Yep.
from the first 3 months, you have 100 clients. From the second month onwards, I mean, no, second month, second quarter onwards, you have another 100 clients, and then from the third quarter, you have like 300, 400 clients. So it's like growth and scale. So
Yeah. That's the scalability right there.
yeah, a lot of people,
Mm.
they mistake that the wonderful idea that they have as a business, but they
Right.
don't do the test. They don't think about it themselves, whether if it's a
Mm.
scalable business.
Right.
Business, yeah, for it to be a legitimate business, you need to scale. You need to be able to repeat that same quality and product for somebody hundreds or even millions of times.
Wow. That's very good insight.
Yeah, like if let's say you produce a very good photo for somebody, for one person, that's great. But how do you produce that for 1 million people?
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, so
Mm.
if you finally manage to solve that question of scale, you have a legitimate business. So that's how you
Wow.
tell. Yeah, that's how you tell.
I'm
Um,
blown away. So the
mhm.
key word here, the determining factor is scalability.
Yes, scalability. So
Wow.
um, let me think about a very good example. Um, okay, let's talk about Tesla, which everybody like to talk about nowadays. So, what made Tesla from being a hobby to an actual legitimate business that worth hundreds of billions of US dollars is scale. So Elon Musk say that this is an actual quote from Elon Musk. He say that you give me uh maybe 1 to 2 million US dollars and a team of 40 engineers, I can build literally anything in the world.
Wow.
That's what he said. He said,
Okay.
you give me a team of 40 engineers and 100,
Yeah.
not 100, a million to 2 million US dollars. He can build anything in the world. But the problem is, how do you repeat that over and over and over again? So when
Mm.
Tesla built its first electric car, which is Tesla Roadster, they basically
Yeah.
just refitted the Lotus Elise with a electric powertrain.
Oh, they did, didn't they?
Yeah,
No wonder it looks familiar.
it looks like a Lotus Elise, don't it? The first Tesla
Okay.
Roadster, and
Oh,
they were only producing like what 2,000 cars per year.
okay.
Yeah, what's 2,000 cars per
Yeah.
year, man? That's nothing.
Yeah.
Toyota produced 1 million cars a month.
Yeah, exactly.
No, 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 not one.
So
Probably
in
not one
terms of
million
the,
cars a month, but maybe 1 million cars every quarter, maybe.
yeah,
Yeah. So,
I mean you have to look at the actual location lah.
mm, so how did
Yeah.
Tesla became a business? It's when they start building their Model S, then their Model 3. Elon Musk say that
Right.
what is the most difficult part of the business is building the machine that makes the machine. They need to build the
Right.
same car over and over and over and over again and maintain its quality. That is the most
Yep.
difficult part. And Tesla almost went bankrupt twice because of that. So that is
Yep.
the
You know,
difference.
is mm-hmm.
That was the transition
I
period
mean
where hmm,
Dave was a genius lah. He really went ahead and did the things that everyone told him
yeah.
not to do, which is
Mm,
exactly what you mentioned at the very beginning of this episode.
hmm.
And he did it. So we could really learn a thing or two from these kind of people.
Yeah, and for Elon Musk, if Tesla fails, he goes bankrupt. He goes bust. He will lose everything. He has no other
That's safe.
choice but to make it happen. It's either
Yeah.
success or nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, for a business to be successful, it's either do or die. That's it. So
Mm.
so Tesla transitioned from an actual hobby to a business is when they start building the Model S and the Model 3.
Yeah.
Ferrari is a
Right.
hobby. Peop-
Ferrari is a hobby.
yeah, people would say Ferrari is an actual legitimate business, but Ferrari is actually a hobby. Ferrari produced less car
They
than Toyota in a month. I mean,
yeah.
Ferrari make what less car in a year than Toyota produce in a month.
Yeah, yeah. However, I've come to see reports lately that
Mm.
their revenues are skyrocketing though. They're doing better than before. So
Probably they are also making some of more mass market products now. I would see. Like Lamborghini came out with their Urus, which is the SUV.
yeah,
I'm seeing more of this luxurious
movies.
automakers. Yeah, they
Hmm.
start making more mass market products, and I think maybe that's what they're doing to transition into an actual business. Because
You're right.
Ferrari,
Because
Lamborghini, they never make a profit. They're actually money losers. Do you know that?
I'm not aware of that. Wow.
Yeah, that's why Ferrari, Lamborghini, and other luxury automobile manufacturers, they get sold and bought over and over and over and over again. It's like every 5, 6, 7 years they have a new owner. Do you know that?
Yeah, I mean Bugatti is under VAG Group and
Yeah,
Ferrari was under Fiat. I'm not sure if they're under Fiat anymore.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I was about to bring up the point that they never exist solely by their own. They
Mm.
always have a parent company.
Yep.
Yeah.
They
Mm-hmm.
can't survive on their own because luxurious cars that just doesn't make a profit.
Mm,
It costs you too much to build a car, and
true.
you can't when you sold the car you probably lose like 10, 20,000
It
euros.
it's too much to R&D. It's too
Yeah.
expensive to make a car. It takes too long, and there's too
Mm,
few buyers.
exactly. So
Not everyone
it's
can buy it.
out. That's why I would call it a hobby. It's a hobby.
Right.
Yeah. It's
Mm.
hobby are
It's
businesses that you can
skill.
afford to spend and spend and spend and not turn a profit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
um
That's very interesting.
hmm. So yeah, like
Yeah.
when you want to when how do you know when you have a legitimate business is how do you answer the question of scalability? How do you scale it into from doing it for 10 or 100% to a million or 10 million person? So when you
Right.
manage to solve that, yeah, that's when you have an actual business. Like how Shopee did it. So Shopee, they they grew from a small uh, regional website, e-commerce website that I think I'm not sure where Shopee is from. Do you know?
Singapore.
Singapore. Yeah. So they grew from a small country like Singapore, only servicing like 7 million people. Now they are regional e-commerce powerhouse. So Shopee
Yep.
now is now
Yeah.
servicing up to I don't know 300 million customers.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, it's like the Shopee transaction volume itself is more than Singapore's population. So
Jeez. That's
um
the potential right there. That's the scale that you're mentioning.
yeah, that's the scale. And um oh yeah, people might another thing about entrepreneurship is that people might think, Kenneth, why would I need to find my own money when I can just go pitch to an investor and get them to fork out the money, right?
Right.
That sounds very easy, and I think there's a lot of people that's what a lot of people would think as well.
Yeah.
But it's not that easy, you know. If it's that easy, I would have already have like tons of investor money behind my back, sitting on it and
Yeah.
thinking about my next idea. But
Yeah.
that's not how it works. Investors, they invest on an actual business with actual chances of scale, you know. So
Yep.
when investors, the way they think is, what's the likelihood that I'll get my money back and more? And when I mean what I mean by more, it's not just 20, 30% more. It is 3,000, 4,000, or sometimes even 10,000% more.
Jeez.
Yeah, like if I give you 20,000 ringgit right now, today, what is the odds of you giving me back this 20,000 ringgit? And not only that, not only 20,000 ringgit, but I would want to have 1 million in return for this 20,000 ringgit back. What are the odds of it happening in 5 years? So investor would think
Hmm.
about it that way. And if your business have no scalability, has is just an idea and it has nothing built behind its back, investor would be like, yeah, you
Why are
know,
you Why are you pitching me this? There's no
yeah,
solid. there's no backbone, there's no
Exactly.
solid plan, there's no to go market strategy, the kind of thing.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah, I mean,
fundamentals.
yeah, I mean, investors would want to see things like that because they are giving you their money,
Yep,
you know. So I won't give you money for free. I want
exactly.
something out of it. Why would I give you money, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, let's put it more simply, okay? If somebody, some random bozo, come and approach you, it's like, hey, Calvin, I know you're a very famous, a very reputable investor. I have this idea that would change the world. I would ask for 100,000 of your money in exchange for maybe 40 to 50% of the company, and then you'll be like,
Right.
"Who are you? Do you have anything? Do you have anything built solid right now?" Then he'll be like, "No, I
Exactly.
have nothing. I have just an idea." They'll be like, "Fuck off, man."
Fuck off, mate.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. I mean, coming into this part of the episode, right? I feel
Mm,
like in this today's topic, you know, honestly, I feel like wow, there's so much to talk about,
mm-hmm.
and I feel like we're running out of time. So I
Yeah.
guess we could do an episode 2.5 on entrepreneurship and startups, maybe the next episode.
Mm.
So Ken, I think perhaps our time is up for today,
Yep.
and we will catch all of you guys the next time. Yeah,
All right. See you guys next
yeah.
episode.
So we will catch you next week, lor.
Yep.
Mm.
All right. Have a
Yeah.
good
Mm.
week.
All right.
Good night,
See you guys.
everybody. See ya.
Yeah. Good night. Bye.